This is our Earth. It's pretty amazing. Most of us probably don't think about the intricacies of the way that our planet works in our daily lives, but that doesn't make it any less important. This planet has sustained us, humans, for over 200,000 years, and sustained life itself for 3.8 billion years.
Some of the most beautiful places on our planet have been built by Mother Nature herself, like Yellowstone National Park, Angel Falls in Venezuela, and the European Alps. Places like these are home to some amazing forms of life, but due to human activity, a lot of them are being threatened or have already been eradicated.
Ecosystems are able to regulate themselves, like the human body maintains homeostasis. But when humans invade these ecosystems, it becomes harder for ecosystems to maintain balance. Humans can be considered an invasive species due to the fact that they displace many species from their habitats. There are multiple ways that humans can and have interfered with ecosystems' self-regulation. Ecosystems are delicate structures and are not to be messed with. They're pretty awe-inspiring, and it would be a shame to see them ruined. Atmospheric carbon dioxide is at 404.93 parts per million. The last time CO2 levels were this high, humans did not exist. The global temperature has gone up 1.7 degrees Fahrenheit since 1880. Arctic ice is melting and sea levels are rising each year. The global temperature will rise between 2.5 degrees Fahrenheit and 10 degrees Fahrenheit within the next century. Weather and precipitation patterns will change dramatically. These are just a handful of statistics that show what is in store for planet Earth if climate change continues. Increasing levels of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere is one of the most prevalent and devastating ways that humans have harmed the planet. We pollute our air with exhaust and manufacturing. We pollute our water with sewage, and we pollute our soil with chemical runoff. Pollution from cars is a major source of carbon dioxide emission. Deforestation is also a huge contributor to global warming. Trees take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen through the process of photosynthesis. By cutting down trees all over the planet, we are increasing the atmospheric carbon dioxide levels. If deforestation rates continue like they are now, there may not be any more rainforest in 100 years. Trees take out some of the harmful greenhouse gases that are huge contributors to global warming. Some of the most prevalent causes of deforestation are logging, farming, urbanization, mining, and use of paper. Paper? Something so simple! Every single one of you watching this video can help lessen the effects of deforestation by simply recycling your papers. So please recycle so that our grandkids can live to see the magnificent Amazon rainforest. We have our very own ecosystem right here behind our school. The Assabet River hosts many different forms of life, including a variety of beautiful plants, like the paper birch. The animals in the Assabet River ecosystem build their homes there and rely on this area to live. If the Earth continues warming up, the river would eventually flood over its banks, effectively ruining the ecosystem. If deforestation were to take place behind our school, there would not be a lush forest back there anymore. Without a habitat to live in, all the different organisms in the area would no longer have a place to live, leading to a decline in population and destruction of the delicately balanced system Mother Nature has put in place. Although hearing about the negative consequences of human behavior on nature can be pretty depressing, there are certainly ways to combat climate change. Cutting down on carbon emissions by carpooling whenever possible is important. And according to the South Florida Commuter Services, if 100 people were to take advantage of the carpool option every day, more than 1,320 pounds of carbon monoxide and 2,376,000 pounds of carbon dioxide could be removed from the air. Recycling is also another key player in making feasible, impactful changes in your own daily life. But perhaps the most important part in helping to reverse climate change is being aware and educated about the effects of climate change and how to stop it, and spreading that information. Don't be afraid to speak up. Remind your friends to recycle. Renewable energy is also a huge way to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases emitted into the atmosphere. Solar panels, wind turbines, and hydroelectric power are all great methods to generate renewable energy. Now you may be asking yourself, what is renewable energy? It sounds pretty complicated. Don't worry, it's a pretty simple concept. Renewable energy is just energy that is generated from a source that is not depleted when used. Oil and coal are both not renewable energy sources because as we take them from the earth, they become depleted or they run out. People often claim that switching over to mostly, if not all, renewable energy is unrealistic, but don't buy that for 1 second. Take the countries Denmark and Sweden, for example. Denmark has produced a surplus of energy from wind turbines alone, so they began to export extra energy to Germany, Norway, and Sweden. switching over to renewable energy is not some far-fetched fantasy. It's very possible, and there are real-life examples to prove it. It's time that everybody jumps on renewable energy. A large part of the reason that America has not switched over to renewable energy is because of lobbyists and large corporations like ExxonMobil that make all of their money off of oil or coal. Huge corporations pay thousands of dollars to prevent and block legislators from taking action against climate change. Peabody Energy Corporation, a coal company, has spent more than $33 million to lobby Congress against environmental measures and to support trade groups and think tanks which spread disinformation about climate science. Corporations like this one pay groups to spread misinformation about climate change, and they have lobbyists all over Congress preventing legislation against oil and coal use. Their number one interest is making money. They couldn't care less about the environment, and that is a huge issue. Do not stay silent. Educate anyone and everyone on the issue of climate change. We need to create awareness if we want to change. Please do your part in helping the cause. No amount of money or corporate success is worth the destruction of this beauty. What we have on Earth is priceless and worth protecting. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have learned something.